Greetings, comrades. Coming to you from down here on Earth in the laboratory. I hope everyone is doing well with all things considered in the current condition of our environment. We're in critical times. This is a very important video. None of this in any way is a conspiracy theory anymore. It is actually happening. When I warned people the pandemic would bring an experimental injection, people said I was crazy and said, they can't do that. It takes so many years to get one approved. Well, that happened. When I said they're going to try to make the experimental injection mandatory, people told me that is illegal and that will never happen. And yet look at us now. In some places you still have to have a digital experimental injection passport to go places or to get inside buildings. Yeah, that happened too. So I've had many questions about digital economy, and if I have many questions, I'm sure a lot of other people have a lot of questions too. So hopefully today we can answer at least a few, and maybe fill in some of the missing gaps. I pray this message reaches the ears who need to hear it. God bless you guys in Jesus Christ's mighty name. Okay, first off, we're gonna break down this little agenda of why stores are locking up items. It's not because people are stealing things. Well, maybe it is, but they created the people who are stealing things. We always had people who stole things, and yet we didn't lock everything up. But now all of a sudden we create these new laws in some places where you can steal things and not get in trouble. So of course people are going to steal things, obviously. And now they're locking their items up so people can't steal things. And it's going to get very old very fast having to unlock those doors. So they already have plans in place to where you'll unlock those doors with your smartphone. But that's going to get very old very fast to have to unlock every door with your smartphone. In order to just check an item, you may just want to look at what it says on the box and not even buy it. But you still have to pull out your phone, have some sort of app, and scan it in. So that's going to get very old very quickly. So what is next? Well, the microchip under your skin. That's what's next. Here's a report from Forbes. You're not imagining it. Stores are locking everything up. Retailers have rushed to lock things up during the pandemic amid soaring theft. At this grocery store in San Francisco, entire aisles have been put behind barriers, making it more difficult to steal or buy air fresheners, cold medicine, and liquor, courtesy of IndieMe. Frustration among shoppers is prompting retailers to test a new type of lock case that can be opened with your smartphone. Oh, how about that? People are getting mad. The shoppers, not the criminals. Shoppers are getting mad. And they want a case that can be opened with your smartphone. I don't think we need to read any further into this. We're going to look at a couple news reports, and I'm going to show you in Houston, Texas, a Walgreens where they're already implementing this type of technology.
Don't look for detergent on these grocery store shelves. There are none to grab. But you can't keep your Tide on the shelves anymore?
No, which is a big inconvenience for the customer and for the worker.
Shoplifting at supermarkets across the USA is out of control and unfortunately changing the experience in the way people shop for basics. Items that you would normally just grab and throw in your cart are now under lock and key. How bad is the shoplifting here?
It's bad.
We've seen it at pharmacies, so much stuff under lock and key, all an effort to fight the shoplifting epidemic, and scenes like these. But now supermarkets are embracing the anti-shoplifting campaign. At Morton Williams in New York City, this sign says it all. Please contact a manager or an employee if you wish to purchase this item. Where are those things kept? Behind the register. Want aspirin? The cashier has to unlock the glass case to grab the medicine. Thieves are also targeting ice cream and meat. Who could forget the guy allegedly stealing all those steaks at a Trader Joe's in Manhattan?
Walmart now has the steak locked up.
People are taking this and putting it in their purse, just like that.
And walking right out.
Some supermarket chains are reporting a whopping 30% rise in shoplifting.
So if they're losing money on one hand, they have to make up for it on another in order to please shareholders. And you can imagine that it's you and I that's paying the extra costs on these thefts.
Morton Williams is also beefing up security. This guard is posted front and center for everyone to see.
Look, Ann, we have cameras, and they still find the blind spot to be able to conceal the merchandise.
So get ready to see more shelves like these, empty of products you want to buy. They're not out of stock, they're just hidden away.
Going to the drugstore these days is even more frustrating than usual. Before, you might have to ask a clerk to unlock an expensive item. But these days, things as ordinary as toothpaste are under lock and key. And as Amber Cagliano reports, there's a reason why.
It's the new strategy in the war against shoplifters. Drugstores are locking up just about every item for sale, including everyday staples like toothpaste and moisturizer. Even basic painkillers are under lock and key at many big chain locations.
Deodorants, right here, under lock and key. And take a look over here. Toothpaste, I would have to call a manager just to get a pack of toothpaste.
We have deodorant locked up, we have body wash locked up, shampoo, conditioner locked up. Basically everything in this aisle is locked up.
Customers must press a button and wait for store personnel to unlock the plastic security case.
Thank you. No problem.
Customer frustration is growing over the hassle of shopping for basics these days. We've come to expect the anti-shoplifting lock and key tactic for expensive items. But for soap?
My soap that I normally use is now also locked up.
I needed to get someone who works in the store just to get a thing of toothpaste.
Many shelves are empty, and it's not from the supply chain crisis. It's from shoplifting.
Drugstores like this are under siege due to the high amount of theft that's happening across the country.
Man of Steel is the headline on a story about a New York suspect arrested 46 times for shoplifting just this year and repeatedly released, only to allegedly do it again. Walgreens just announced that it's closing 5 more of its stores in the shoplifting hotspot of San Francisco. That's on top of the 10 already shut down. Inside Edition was reporting on shoplifting at a Walgreens in San Francisco last year when this guy leaped up and helped himself to an air mattress right in front of our camera.
Take a look at this, air fresheners under lock and key.
The outbreak of brazen smash and grab robberies and shoplifting is showing no sign of stopping, but some stores are taking extreme measures to stop would-be thieves in their tracks, literally. Lisa Guerrero has details.
This is not a warehouse. It's a home that cops say was jammed with more than $1 million in shoplifted power tools. And this video shows a line of cops emptying out a storage unit filled with goods they say were stolen from Home Depot.
So these aren't your typical shoplifters, are they?
No, this is not petty shoplifting. This is organized retail crime.
Retail giants like Home Depot are fed up with the shoplifting spree sweeping the nation. They're fighting back as never before. Home Depot's Christina Cornell gave me an exclusive look at the company's latest crime-fighting technology.
So what's to stop me from taking this cart, loading it up, and running out the door with it?
And Lisa, that's a common tactic that we see that a lot of thieves use, but what we're really excited about is we're rolling out technology that if you were to try and roll this out of the store, the wheels on this cart would lock.
The wheels on the cart will lock?
Yes, we know that this is probably going to catch a lot of bad guys.
Expensive items are getting locked, and there are more surveillance cameras in the aisles.
Smile, you're being recorded.
And if a shoplifter runs out with a stolen power tool, good luck.
In a lot of our stores we're piloting right now some state-of-the-art technology that uses Bluetooth so that if you don't pay for this, if you don't scan it and go through the register, it won't even turn on.
You're kidding me.
We want people to know that the value in this is in its ability to work. And if it's not even going to work, it's not worth stealing.
It's just a heavy box.
So thieves, beware. Big box stores like Home Depot are saying enough is enough.
What's up, guys? Good Samaritan here. We're about to go in this Walgreens here. Up in Whizzle Grizzle. By the way, we're in Houston, Texas. I had a job out here. I've been waiting to be able to come back in this Walgreens and show you guys what I've discovered. So let's head on in there. Private property. Let's see if they still have this in here. Here it is. You ready? What is this? Got the microphone, got the key code.
First came the credit card swipe and then the tap, and now just a wave of the hand can process a payment.
So the future just keeps coming. Let's check in with
Fast.
Jason Carr in the carport. Jason, what the mark of the beast is going on?
This is a microchipping party. Hannah's getting an electronic chip implanted into her hand. She believes one day we'll all be chipped like her.
So congratulations, Hannah.
Thank you.
You've been chipped?
Yes, I have.
How does it feel?
It feels good. I'm excited to see what I'll be able to do now.
Can I touch it?
Yeah, you can feel it there. I feel like this is the future. It's the next big thing that's gonna happen. Happy cyborg birthday.
Happy cyborg birthday to you. Congratulations.
There are those who have some concerns that are very specifically religious, such as those who are concerned that there is some relation to something that's called the mark of the beast in the book of Revelation.
So they look like normal shelves, but they're not normal shelves. Every single one of them has infrared scanning sensors right here for your forehead, right? The mark of the beast on your right hand or your forehead. Speak to it. It sees you. Seek to wave. They're made out of super thick metal. If you don't have the mark later on, you won't be able to buy or sell unless you scan your hand on this. Then it's going to open for you. Then it's going to let you get whatever you need. But without the mark of the beast, you won't be able to use these in the future. These lock. Right now, they're not locked, but they do lock. And they're made out of super thick metal with glass. You can't even break through them to get food. So again, recap Revelation 13. He calls us all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on the right hand of their forehead, so that nobody could buy or sell unless they have the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of his name.
But is this sci-fi fantasy or practicality? I want to know why anyone would want to do this. For this teenager, microchips, it seems, are in her DNA.
Felicia is my daughter and I'm the father.
So you're a microchipped family?
We will become one now today.
Magnus and his daughter Felicia have come here together tonight because they believe this is the future.
You're going to have an upgraded dad.
Yeah.
As they say, it was good being a human, but being a cyborg is better.
Tonight, U.S. chip makers got a boost to their assembly lines.
We need to make these chips here in America to bring down everyday costs and create jobs.
The legislation will provide $52 billion in subsidies and tax credits for chip manufacturing in the U.S. and more than $200 billion for scientific research. GlobalFoundries is one of the largest chip makers in the country.
How big is this facility?
That's a
give or take about 7 football fields.
At this high-tech facility, everything looks yellow. Special lighting is used to protect the delicate production of microchips. Christopher Belfi is Equipment Engineering Manager.
How complex is it to make these microchips? They're in everything we use, phones, TVs, cars.
It is extremely complex, and as the demand on capability increases, so does the complexity.
The chip shortage is a growing crisis. They help power everything from appliances like refrigerators to gaming consoles and weapons. The U.S. relies heavily on East Asia for chips.
We don't want to rely on foreign entities to be able to give us the brains and the guts of what drive our everyday vehicles, devices, our cell phones.
Experts warn the lack of production in the U.S. poses a national security risk. Tom Caulfield is the CEO of Global Foundries.
What stage are we at in this chip shortage?
It takes years to put capacity on. And I think for the better part of the next 5 to 10 years, we'll be chasing supply in this industry, not demand.
The U.S. only produces about 12% of the world's chip supply, and it will take years to ramp up production here, which means for now, Americans will still have to pay higher prices on everything from appliances to cars. Jerika?
Got to start somewhere. Thanks, Meg.
What the mark of the beast is going on?
I'll tell you what in the mark of the beast is going on. The mark of the beast is going on. So now that we see that that is a thing that's actually happening and is not a conspiracy theory, we can better assess the implications of a one-world digital economy. We're currently witnessing, right now, many nations going digital. Which countries are joining the digital currency race, you might ask? The Bahamas was the first country to launch a digital currency. Other places that have fully rolled out a digital currency include Nigeria and 7 Eastern Caribbean Union countries. According to this article, the upcoming frontrunners in the central bank digital currency race is China, Taiwan, India, and Europe. Guys, this isn't going to be limited to just some countries or some nations. This is all over the world. Everywhere. Everywhere is pushing this same agenda. The same as they did with the plandemic. The same as they did with the injectable beast juice. Is the same way that they're going to push this digital economy. There won't be a choice. You'll have to do it, or you won't be part of society anymore. I can already see right now, with the carbon footprint, climate change, and microchips, they're going to require that. You're going to have one, and if you don't have one, they're going to tell you that you're a terrorist who doesn't care about the greater good, and we're killing everybody because we're not getting down with the carbon footprint, and we're living like savages, causing more global warming for everyone. The same way that they did us with the injectable beast juice. You don't take it, you're a monster, you're killing everybody, you're causing everybody to get sick and die. Does that sound familiar? Here's some videos that I find to be proof that the United States of America is going along with the digital currency very soon.
President Biden signed an executive order today directing the federal government to come up with a plan to regulate cryptocurrencies. The move follows what the Biden administration is calling the, quote, explosive growth of digital assets in recent years. Under the order, the government will coordinate efforts with financial regulators to get a better understanding of the risks and benefits of cryptocurrencies. The directive also calls for the exploration and consideration of creating a digital form of the U.S. dollar.
When it comes to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, your first thoughts are likely about money and taxes, not tactical training. That's the kind of training, though, typically associated with the FBI or Secret Service.
Yes, but as Christine Noel shows us, the tax man is also getting trained in a similar way.
It's a training day for agents of the Internal Revenue Service CI division.
Criminal investigations, it's its own operating division within IRA. They receive extensive training in law, in the application of law, in executing enforcement operations, in the use of firearms, and other related topics.
Most people associate this kind of training with the FBI, Secret Service, but not the IRS.
I didn't even know the IRS had a criminal investigative unit before I started, so I think a lot of people would be surprised that IRS has criminal investigators.
This year, IRS Criminal Investigations commemorates 100 years of service. It was formed in 1919 with the mission of finding and stopping criminal tax fraud, which at the time was one of America's favorite pastimes. This was the age of bootlegging, the Purple Gang, Al Capone, and organized crime. Over the last century, many things in America have changed, but some things have not.
For us, it's all about, obviously, the greed. Almost everyone commits a crime because at the end of the day, there's money to be made.
For thousands of IRS employees working in the business divisions, the computer and calculator are the weapons of choice, tracking people who cheat. That's because tax fraud is not a victimless crime.
When you cheat the IRS, you're cheating everybody, your neighbors and family, because that money is used to run this country.
There are 2,500 criminal investigation field agents, a very different typical career path for an accountant.
This is an alternative to a traditional accounting job. You're not just a CPA. Now you're taking those accounting skills and applying them to criminal investigations, tracking down complex financial crimes.
For the men and women of the IRS, the mission has remained the same for over 100 years now.
If you cheat on your taxes, evade your taxes, that you will be caught and held accountable.
Bottom line, you don't want the IRS coming after you with this or this. Want to know more about the IRS Criminal Investigative Unit? Head over to clicktohouston.com for a by the numbers breakdown.
What would this mean as far as the number of IRS agents and the massive tax filing backlog?
Well, the nearly $80 billion in funding, that would be funneling into the agency over the next decade. It could help the IRS dig out of a crushing backlog of unprocessed paper claims, staff up, and take aim at some of the country's highest earners.
The IRS bulking up. The bill expected to pass Congress will send nearly $80 billion to the agency over the next 10 years. The plan for the extra cash is to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. That could help speed up processing, with some taxpayers waiting as long as 10 months for refunds. The plan for the extra cash is to hire 87,000 new IRS agents. The plan is to hire 87,000 new IRS agents.
Well, we've been telling you about Democrats' plan to expand the IRS with nearly 90,000 new agents.
What could possibly go wrong? Well, now one of those federal job postings is raising eyebrows. According to the IRS website itself, if you're looking for a job, you would read this one and it would say that new special agents must be able to legally carry a firearm, and if necessary, you've got to be willing to use deadly force at the IRS.
Now, I would expect that for the CIA, but the IRS catches me by surprise, so let's bring in Mike Baker. He used to do that for a living. Mike, are you surprised the IRS wants you armed and willing to use that firearm?
Well, I think given the idea of the IRS expansion, maybe the optics of that job posting are not particularly good. Look, what they're talking about here are the special agents who work within the criminal investigations element of the IRS. It's right now, it's a relatively small operation. There's about 2,000 of them. They've got 20 some odd offices in the U.S. and some overseas postings. And they're looking to expand that group, obviously, along with everything else, apparently, that the IRS is going to do. Now, these special agents have really unique abilities, unchallenged abilities to collect tax data, financial information, oftentimes, I guess, in support of larger criminal investigations. But much like everything else the government does, the messaging is off, right?
Yeah.
Do you really need in your job posting to say willing to use deadly force to collect your tax data?
Right. Especially after everything that's happened this week. So the spokesperson for the IRS is denying that it was ever deleted. The the posting was there yesterday morning, and then we couldn't find it yesterday afternoon. It's back up right now. We were able to find it right before we had you on. And this is what the spokesperson says. The IRS Criminal Investigation Special Agent job announcement continues to be open on USA Jobs and was not taken down. USA Jobs is where these positions are posted and where applicants are referred to in order to apply. The announcement has been open since February 22 and continues through December 31st of this year. But that sparked a lot of uproar online, people wondering why the IRS would need to be armed. What do you say?
Well, yeah. Combined with the fact that there was some release of information showing that the IRS spent, just south of $1 million for ammunition earlier this year. Again, it's like what they're doing. If they would just, it's whether it's the Mar-a-Lago, a raid, and the notion that the FBI, right, and the DOJ must have known what this was going to cause, a firestorm that this would cause. So instead of saying we have to have our messaging straight, we have to be transparent at the very beginning of this, they don't, and still no real word. The IRS is doing the same thing, right? If you say you're going to expand your government agency by $80 billion, you should probably sit down and collectively come up with a message at the outset of this. They didn't do that, so they were playing cleanup like they always do, and then eventually the Democratic operatives get a narrative out there, and so the past couple of days they've been out there saying, well, look, I mean, this is simply to go after the wealthy. We haven't been able to because the IRS has been underfunded for all these decades, and now we want to give it a boost in the arm, and now we want to give it a boost in the arm, and now we want to give it a boost in the arm.
Bottom line, you don't want the IRS coming after you with this or this.
The world today looks very different than it did a decade ago. Smartphones and high-speed internet access have changed how quickly we expect to pay for the things we need. There are already services that let people make payments that seem instant, but many of these services provide funds to the user before the funds settle between banks. This lag in final settlement creates a buildup of interbank obligations. What's needed is a payment system designed for the real-time nature of instant payments, one that can scale as demand for these new payments grows.
Today, businesses and consumers want to send and receive money in seconds, also known as instant payments. The payments industry is working quickly to meet this demand, but the solutions aren't without growing pains. So the time for modernizing our nation's payment system is now.
That's why the Federal Reserve's work is progressing rapidly for the FedNow service, a new infrastructure for instant payments. The FedNow service is designed to exist alongside private sector options, fulfilling the Federal Reserve's historical role of promoting market competition and providing nationwide reach for payment services. The FedNow service will allow any financial institution in the U.S., regardless of size, to offer instant payments to its customers.
With the FedNow service, funds will settle between financial institutions instantaneously. End users will be able to access their funds in real time, no matter the time or the day.
This new instant payments platform will increase efficiency, improve accessibility, reduce risk, foster competition, and support resiliency. It will also position financial institutions and the customers they serve, consumers and businesses, to better manage their funds. Those who live paycheck to paycheck could face fewer overdrafts and late fees. Businesses could more easily manage their cash flow. Public service organizations could deliver instant relief in times of crisis. And financial institutions of all sizes could remain competitive by providing access to instant payment services.
Thinking about all the ways the FedNow service could be used to help people and businesses is really exciting. It also demonstrates the Federal Reserve's commitment to providing solutions that benefit everyone in the financial system and the broader economy.
In just a few short years, the FedNow service will help support the next generation of payments. To learn more about the FedNow service, visit fednow.org.
At the Clear Enrollment Center, our Clear Ambassador will guide you through the fast, one-time enrollment process. No appointment is necessary. We'll capture your face and eyes and do a one-time scan of your physical ID, like a driver's license or passport. As the trusted leader in identity and access for over 10 years, you can rest easy knowing your privacy is protected and your data is safe and secure. We'll never sell or rent your personal information. You're now ready for faster and safer touchless travel. Once enrolled, you can use Clear right away. Just walk right up to the Clear lane. No crowds, no waiting. Verify you are you with a glance, and be sure to link your Delta or United accounts so Clear can automatically pull up your boarding pass for you. A Clear ambassador will escort you straight to physical screening, and our good friends at TSA will take it from there. Clear is a touchless, faster, and safer way to move through the world. Enroll today at clearme.com/enroll.
Microchips implanted in human bodies could transform the way we tackle many everyday tasks. Some workers in Sweden are already developing and volunteering to have chips injected into their hands. The technology can make some tasks easier and reduce the amount of personal items employees need to carry. John Blackstone looks at the controversial trend and how it could put your privacy at risk.
In a Stockholm business complex, employees gain access not with key cards, but with a wave of a hand.
This is something that you can use just like a key badge.
At a recent tech conference, Hannes Sjöblad explained how a microchip implanted in his hand makes his life easier. It replaces all the keys and cards that used to clutter his pockets.
I use this many times a day. For example, to unlock my smartphone, to open the door to my office.
Sjöblad calls himself a biohacker.
We biohackers, we think that the human body is a good start, but there is certainly room for improvement.
The first step in that improvement is getting a microchip about the size of a grain of rice slipped under the skin. Suddenly, the touch of a hand is enough to tell the office printer, this is an authorized user.
It felt pretty scary, but at the same time it felt very modern.
The microchips are radio frequency identification tags, the same technology widely used in things like key cards. The chips have been implanted in animals for years to help identify lost pets. Now the technology is moving to humans. A tech startup called Dangerous Things has sold tens of thousands of implant kits for humans, some to tech companies in Europe. Sjöblad even organizes implant parties where people can bond over getting chipped together.
I love gadgets, and now I kind of feel like I'm a gadget myself.
Even a car door can be tweaked to open with a touch, but each touch leaves a digital footprint, and that can compromise privacy.
It also seems to be one thing if retailers can track me on my phone to see if they can get me to buy some socks or underwear. It's a different thing if my employer can see where I am, see what I'm doing when I'm off the job.
This is serious stuff. We're talking about a nonstop potential connection to my body. I can't turn it off. I can't put it away. It's in me. That's a big problem.
Even a dedicated biohacker has concerns.
It's very easy to hack a chip implant. So my advice is don't put your life secrets in a chip implant.
Somebody put an implant inside me. I found it this morning.
Back in 2004, the Manchurian Candidate suggested a future where humans are chipped and controlled. We have been warned.
It's about educating the people and giving every person the tools, not only how to use the technology, but more importantly, when it's being used against you.
But biohackers also predict the next generation of chips will save lives by monitoring health and fitness. For now, being chipped means never having to say you're sorry you forgot your key card. For CBS This Morning, John Blackstone, San Francisco.
I'm fascinated by this. I've always thought it was the future, that it would carry your medical records, that it could track your fitness, that
you could buy your groceries with it.
Right, like an Apple Pay or something.
All in.
Yeah.
I'm skeptical. I'm scared of becoming a cyborg, but if you guys go first, I'll join you.
Okay, so pretty obvious. The United States of America will be going digital with the rest of the world. Unless we turn into like Korea and we have North United States of America and South United States of America. But then we would have to change our name to the Divided States of America. Come to think about it, we could probably already go ahead and do that. They're pushing this thing, guys, and they're not gonna stop at just digital economy with your cell phones and your credit cards and those type of chips. They're not going to stop until they have a chip inside your body and it can track your carbon footprint and tell you information about yourself access your medical records, access your experimental beast juice injection passport. You'll be able to use it to open your car door, your house door. So in return, they will probably be able to lock your house door or lock your car door if they don't want you using it or they don't want you leaving. We can already see here at the Bank of England website that they have 100 days left to use your paper 20 and 50 banknotes. The Bank of England will be withdrawing legal tender status of paper 20 and 50 banknotes after September 30th, 2022. So we can see that in the UK, they are well underway to their digital economy systems. The bottom line is, guys, they're doing this thing, whether we like it or not. We can fight each other about all these issues that they put in place for us to fight about. You could get mad at me for sitting here telling you the truth, but if that was the case, I highly doubt you made it this far into the video. Or we could recognize together right now the truth that Jesus Christ is Lord, died for our sins on the cross, and rose on the third day. All of this that is happening is biblical. It was all written about 2,000 years ago. I suggest right now, if you haven't been, start reading your Bible. And if you're not going to do that, then find somebody who you trust who does, who can tell you what's going on. Get yourselves saved, guys. Trust in Jesus Christ. There will never be a more critical time in history than the last days that the Bible speaks of. I'd like to say thank you to the people who subscribe this channel and encourage me to keep going. It's been a difficult journey. Every step of the way, there's been troubles and persecutions and technical difficulties, malfunctions, you name it. Everything crashes, files getting deleted, entire C drive wiped. Not to mention getting your videos taken down, banned, and getting strikes and not being able to post anymore, and all that sort of thing. It's been a long journey, and it hasn't been easy getting these videos out there. Anyways, thank you guys. God bless you.